Scott becomes the first Lady Raider since Vivian Gray to have 2 30-point games of the season. Viv had 3, and then Bree her 4th double-double. Bryn does extend her 6-game double-figure scoring streak tonight. Scott, we good? We're good. All right, take a quick opening statement from Coach, and then let's get the microphone. We'll start off with RAL. Coach, quick opening statement.
I mean, that was a heartbreaker, right? I mean, we asked our kids, we've been asking them to empty the tank, and you couldn't ask them to play any harder. I mean, they played their hearts out. They did as much as they could. You know, I hate that they couldn't get it done. They were down by 9 in the first overtime and came back and tied it up, and man, just fought like hell. Man, I hate that I couldn't help them more at the end of the game, or at the end of the overtimes, to try to help them get a easier bucket or get to the free throw line. But some really courageous performances by Bree Amber. I think I looked at the clock in the second half, or the scoreboard in the second half, maybe even in the fourth quarter, and I think she had 6 points. And then the next time I looked up there, she had 25. So what a performance by her. Katie Farrell, to have a double-double was fantastic. I'm just looking at her going 7 for 7 from the free throw line. That's a shocker. I was saying that. It's just fantastic. I mean, it's fantastic. I thought Bryn played through a whole lot of contact all night long and didn't get much respect. And for her to shoot only 2 free throws when I believe she only shot 3 shots outside of the paint is pretty rough. And she's kicking herself for the last intentional foul that came about after she got what we thought was fouled, out of frustration. I thought, Ella didn't get many minutes, but I still thought she came in and got a couple of offensive boards that helped us early. And, that was just a matchup problem for her to be able to come in and defend on the perimeter. They were playing a lot of 5 guards with 5 shooters. And then same thing with Tatum. I thought Tatum, gave us some really good minutes and solid. And I'm just really proud of those 5 seniors. It was nice to see Riley, come back and score it like she did, like old Riley. So hopefully she'll get on a little roll right here. But I just can't say enough about our seniors and how hard they played. They left it all out on the floor, and I know that everybody in the stands were so proud of them and, wanted them to win just as badly as they did. So I appreciate everybody coming out and celebrating them. And luckily, it's not our last game at home. It's not our last game, period. So we're going to keep picking ourselves back up and keep fighting, because that's what Lady Raiders do.
Coach's point 18 and Bree's 30 did come in overtime. Harley, did you want to start us off?
Coach, from start to finish, this game was physical, bodies on the floor, for you guys, different lineups. There were some injuries in the beginning. What was the messages like in those timeout and those huddles to keep having those girls roll with the punches until the very end?
We have been telling them all year, like, they can't expect to get fouls called when they're attacking the basket. We still want to attack the basket even more. I think that we tried early and didn't get a lot of luck, and didn't get to the free throw line, and I think that discouraged our kids a little bit. So we continued to preach to them in those timeouts. They had to keep attacking and move the basketball. We had different lineups. We had different sets we wanted to run with lineups and different matchups. And early, especially the first half, we did not play well at all. We did not move the basketball. We didn't execute. We had 0 assists at halftime, and that is not good for us, because we're not going to beat anybody one-on-one. And even ending the game with just 3 is rough. We've got to be a team that'll move the ball and help each other score and set better screens. So, we just kept encouraging them and kept telling them to keep fighting, and even if it was ugly, to just keep fighting and to find a way to stay in the game.
Saga providing some really valuable minutes for you guys. She got in a lot. I guess, how impressed were you at that part of her game, and how much has she worked in order to deserve that moment?
Yeah, Saga is one of the best kids I've ever coached, because she's the ultimate team player. If she gets 0 minutes for 10 games in a row and then gets 2 in the next game, she has the same attitude, same work ethic, same focus. It was fantastic for her to come in and relieve Bree a little bit of guarding their point guard. Bree was a little banged up, and it was difficult for her to keep the point guard in front of her. So we asked Saga to do that, and I thought she did a fantastic job of it. And, I think a lot of times kids could play like they don't have the confidence or they don't know what to do because they haven't maybe gotten the reps in a game. And she's never been that one. And lots of times you'll see in practice where she's directing traffic and telling people what to do when she's not getting that burn in a game. So super proud of her.
Coach, does it take longer to bounce back from a game that, like you mentioned, heartbreaker that you had chances to win?
Yeah, I mean, any loss is hard to bounce back from. I mean, it's like I lost my best friend every time we lose. And so, but when you pour your heart and soul into an extra, 15 minutes of game, and not come out on top, I think it's really difficult. Just the emotional letdown. And I think kids are kicking themselves, I mean, there's a lot of tears in that locker room because of what ifs or I should have or, if onlys. And that's really difficult for kids. And it's hard because they're going to go home and, and think about it all night long. And so is our coaches. And we just need to, that's the beauty about basketball is you need to hurry up and play again, right? You want to hurry up and play again so you can get that feeling out of your stomach. But yeah, we'll have to definitely regather. It's probably a really good thing they have a day off tomorrow and then be ready to come back for West Virginia on Monday, prepare for Monday. And it's another game that we think we can win and that our kids will battle to do that.
And was Bree doing anything differently in the fourth quarter and overtime, or was it just a matter of being aggressive?
I think she got tweaked a little bit in the first half, and it kind of put her on her heels a little bit. And I think in the second half, she kind of forgot about that and started just competing. And I think you saw her just remember that it was senior night and remember that, she's a huge piece of our team and a great basketball player. And I think she just was competing. I think she just forgot about everything else and just competed and it was much more aggressive.
And was Jasmine out with an injury today?
She was, yes, she was.
Come around and call
them. Coach, you touched on it earlier, but Bree Scott had a huge game. Katie Farrell, all the seniors. Bryn played over 50 minutes. I guess if you could put it into words just how impactful this group of seniors has been for this team. We see how close they are with their teammates and the camaraderie they have just on or off the court. How impactful have they been for this program?
Well, they're instrumental. I mean, they're the livelihood of our program, to be quite honest, because they chose to come. They're all transfers, right? They all transferred to Texas Tech knowing that we were rebuilding. So they weren't trying to come in and play for a team that was going to win a conference championship maybe right out of the box, or even play in the NCAA tournament. They knew they were going to come in and have to help us rebuild, and they chose to do that. And I think they chose Texas Tech for the experience and for the family and for the relationships that we have with them. They definitely believe in what we're trying to do at Texas Tech. They love Lady Raider Nation, and they love Texas Tech. And I think you could see that by how hard they played. But they are super impactful. They are definitely laying the foundation for how we expect Lady Raiders to compete, how we expect them to fight. And they're not done. They're definitely not done yet. And we're in a really tough stretch right here, but I still believe in them. I still choose them, and I know that they're going to continue to fight and rise up. And I know our underclassmen love them tremendously and are really trying to follow their example.
And then we talked about the seniors. Now one of the younger players, Riley McKinney, she had 14 points. I think she only missed one shot. I guess just talk about the kind of day she had. What was she kind of seeing out there?
Yeah, I was super proud of Riley. I think that you saw her kind of pull herself out of her own little slump that she's been in. Sophomore season is easy to get into a slump, if you will. And I think tonight she really pulled herself out of it. And I would say no doubt it was for those seniors. She lives with two of them. They're some of her best friends. And I think she just saw an opportunity to come in and really be helpful. And it was nice to see her be confident again. It was nice to see her just compete and battle. And I think, and it's a good time for her to do that, right? I mean, we're going to need her in these next couple of weeks as well. We've been missing her 12 to 14 points. So I was really proud of her for coming out and fighting so hard.
Coach, can you talk about Katie reaching her season high just in 2 quarters?
Yeah, meaning that she got to 15 and oh, got it. Okay, I didn't know. Okay, yeah. Well, first of all, for Katie, like we've been asking her, right? I mean, I've known her since she was teeny tiny, and that kid's IQ is off the charts, and she's a competitor, and she's a hooper, and for whatever reason, she doesn't believe that she's a scorer, you know, and so for her to come out and really try to score the basketball for us was important. We're going to need it moving forward, and I think that I think it was senior night, and that she knew that she was actually playing against 2 of her best friends on the other team that played together. They all played together at UTA for me, and I think it was just really important for her to really play her best basketball. So I was really proud of her, just her effort and how much she laid on the line, and maybe she got out of her comfort zone a little bit too. Thank you, guys.